I'm going to give you a quick update of the Masters. So thanks to EDRA UK, one of our partners, for letting me have this little chat. Also, while I'm mentioning partners, thanks to EDRA and also B. Braun. Okay. You've probably got questions about the Masters. The first question is, who am I? Don't worry about me. See through me. Don't ignore me. The first of two Game of Thrones references is going to be a man has no name, so don't worry about me. The second question you're going to have is, what's the UEA? So the UEA is the University of East Anglia. Some of you might have heard about it in a bit of a notorious way. It was a little while ago, a sculptor was putting sculptures, famous sculptor, was putting sculptures on top of the roofs, which had some negative connotations. The actual campus is actually quite nice, so it's not doom and gloom, it's not suicidal. And actually, a fact, it's Mornay Wolmeran's favourite university within a 1 mile radius of his hospital. So the other good thing about the programme, as well as the UEA, is the faculty, and this is the real kind of workhorse of the Masters. It's the positivity of the Master's degree. It's this network of local, national, and international experts, all with a passion and drive for teaching. The second reference for Game of Thrones is there's actually an actor from Game of Thrones in there who helped us with a question. I'll give you a few seconds to just see if you can spot it. These experts have got, obviously, expertise within regional anaesthesia, but we also have experts with adult learning theory and also delivering distance learning. So we've got the combination of those three experts. So why do the Masters? And that's perhaps the next question. Well, I think that the Royal College of Anaesthetists produces the best anaesthetists in the world. I think that's a fact. Or fake news. But the one thing which you could argue is a bit of a gap is regional anaesthesia, the assessments look at competency. And for regional anaesthetists, we're after excellence. So what we're hoping to achieve with the Masters is actually developing that excellence. So the next question is, well, why not do EDRA? And actually, it's recognised by quite a few individuals that actually, comparison, the Masters actually offers a greater degree of knowledge and teaching compared to the actual EDRA diploma. And I'm not trying to challenge EDRA. In fact, Barry Nichols kindly let me reproduce this graphic which he presented to the EDRA board. And this was his idea or dream of an educational overview for regional anaesthesia. And it looks like the theme for RA UK, which at least I've picked up, is standardisation. And this offers perhaps a standardised education overview for education of regional anaesthesia in UK and also in Europe. I'm going to try and use the pointer. Yeah. So it starts off with foundation training. And that will be training which is locally delivered, so perhaps at your audit meeting. The next stage is the general training, so when you go to, say, cadaveric workshops. The next stage, ESRA diploma. And then when you're trying to get the mastery, you're looking at the Regional Anaesthesia Masters. The structure of the course is probably the next question you're going to be asking about. It's a distance learning program, and that's made of 6 modules followed by a dissertation. The first 3 modules are done within the first year. That includes anatomy, and this is looking at the things we already know, and then the things we don't know, and the things we don't know, or unknown unknowns. And it's actually quite fascinating looking at the anatomy module where it's actually challenging the status quo, challenging things which we just assume that was actually the anatomical knowledge, and actually it perhaps isn't. Pain and neurophysiology, which has arguably the hardest of the exams. Research methodology, it gets the students to actually look at how to actually construct a research proposal, looking at ethics applications. Now, if you complete that at the end, you'll get a postgraduate certificate of regional anaesthesia, and that's 1 year done. And that might work well for trainees which are doing advanced training within regional anaesthesia in their penultimate year of training. It could also work for trainees that are coming anaesthetists that are, say, coming across from Sri Lanka as part of an MTI initiative. When they're in your trust, they could actually do this 1 year, and that would actually be quite a good way of giving them actually formalised teaching. If you go ahead and do the full 6 modules and complete the OSCE exam, you'll receive the diploma. These last 3 modules, applications of regional anaesthesia, is looking at the different ways that regional anaesthesia is delivered, so looking at catheter services, block rooms. Special circumstances is focusing on the pregnant patients, the elderly patients, trauma, patients with cancer, and looking at the science behind that. And then finally, leadership and management, which might seem like an odd combination. As we heard from Professor Hadzik earlier on, leadership and management goes together really well. It goes like chocolate and peanut butter. It's very good. If you do that and do the OSCE, you'd get the diploma. If you then go ahead and do the research dissertation, which is a big piece of work, you'll then achieve the master's degree. So that's 3 years in total, but you can do 1, 2, or 3 if you need to. Looking at the actual structure of the modules, each module opens up with a study day with experts, and this is quite a nice bespoke study day, so you'll have the experts within the field and the students, and they'll give some teaching and also open up to what the module is going to involve. And then as the module actually gets going, you'll have a topic each fortnight, and there'll be 2 PBLs, or problem-based learning questions, which the students will then answer, but guided by the faculty. In adult learning, we're not spoon-feeding or giving the answers, because that would actually be incredibly patronising to do that. The students are actually doing it, but the faculty can actually help guide. And then formative assessments just help to make sure that everyone's keeping on track. This is just an example. So this is how it will look like on the, well, how it does look like on the website. So a PBL is posted. James Stimpson, who's the lead for the anatomy module, has actually said a nice friendly welcome to the module and said, actually, this is what to tease out from this particular week. And then we got the first student comment there. And the students will then engage in a vibrant conversation. So you do the 6 modules and do the OSCE. You then go ahead and do a dissertation. Now this is, as I said, a big piece of work, 15,000 words. Now it can be original research, but actually 3 of the students at the moment are actually doing reviews, so systematic reviews. One is probably actually looking like it's going to be a systematic review / meta-analysis. The process, you get given a mentor by the university, but also you would have identified a local mentor to help you with the project. And the aims for these projects is actually to get publication. And actually the standards of these dissertations are so high that publication is actually almost guaranteed. This is quite exciting, and we've got actually about 12 projects which are actually going to start from next year. There's about 4 going at the moment. There's 12 that are going to start next year. And you can actually see that this is ramping up, and we might, from this, develop perhaps a UK or European powerhouse of research. So it's very exciting. Wrong one. The technical bit, so it's at the moment it's for post-FRCA individuals, ST3 or above. However, that might be waived, especially as with the junior contracts discussion and negotiation, we're seeing a lot of trainees which are actually coming out of the actual training program, so we might actually be able to capture those and amend that. There's sponsorship offered by both B. Braun and EDRA. EDRA offer 10% off the fees for the course. And in terms of future, so at the moment we're working with the prospect group on one of our research dissertations. Steph Usausen, the brains behind the MSc. He's actually working with Graham MacLeod and their department up in Dundee on their Thiel Cadaver Mastery programme. And Oscar, who's the lead for Module 6, is actually going to go to Barcelona next month to look at their anatomy lab, to look at future research that the faculty and students can do there, which is very exciting. So we're 5 years into the master's programme, and actually we continue to get positive feedback, and any negative feedback, we hopefully try and do things about it. And I just thought I'd end with arguably the most important person for the Masters, which is the students. So this is previous and current students who are doing the Masters. And that's all I'm going to say.
Thanks very much.